everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy. Do you like train? How often do you take a train? The video of the high-speed train in China are all over the internet. But you know, when I was a little kid, there was not even a high-speed train in China. My generation has witnessed the rapid development of high-speed train in China. But today, I want to talk a little bit more than that. Let's trace back to 144 years ago. The Qing government decided to build a coal railway from Tangshan to Xugezhuang under the responsibility of British engineer Claude William Kinder. The Tangshu Railway is the first standard freight railway built in China. In 1905, construction of the Jinjiang Railway began and was complete in 1909. The railway started in Beijing and ended in Zhangjiakou, Hebei, with a total length of about 200 kilometers. Jinjiang Railway is the first railway in China that is designed and run by Chinese people without any foreign capitals and personnel. And its designer, Zhan Tianyou, was the father of the Chinese railways. Well, to be honest, I learned all of this from my middle school history class. About trains, I believe my grandfather knew more than I do. Back to 1930s, my grandfather was in charge of train factories in Malaysia. In those days, it was a really cool thing to make trains, but also a very dangerous thing. Because of the war, my grandfather passed away when my dad was a baby. Although I have never met my grandfather, but when I saw those steam trains, I think this is the kind of cool things that he would make. My father inherited my grandfather's passion for machinery and, of course, his courage. When my father was in his 20s, he chose to wave goodbye to everything he has in Malaysia, including his family, friends, and job, and came to China alone. He had came to China in the 1960s, when China was not as developed as it is now. At that time, it was inconvenient to travel around. Trains were slow and weren't many train stations. Traveling to 200 kilometers away was considered to be a long journey. With the development of China's economics and technology, China's railways has been continuously improved. In 1980s and 1990s, trains had become a common and cheap way of transportation. Around 2000s, my brother was going from southern China to northern China to attend his university. You know, my family lived here in Guangdong, and my brother is going to study there in Tianjin, a city near Beijing. My brother has to take the train from Guangzhou to Beijing first, and then to Tianjin. The distance from Guangzhou to Beijing is around 2,100 kilometers. The maximum speed of many trains were only 100 to 120 kilometers per hour. So my brother had to take a 24-hour train from Guangzhou to Beijing, and then a 2-hour train from Beijing to Tianjin. I remember one time my brother showed me a globe and said, "Look at this. From our home to my school, it's only a finger away." But in fact, it's 26 hours away. So you may be wondering if I ever took the regular train, and the answer is, of course, yes! In 2015, I was still a college student. I saved some money by doing part-time jobs. I wanted to travel as far as possible, but I don't have a lot of money. So I decided to take the regular train from Guangzhou to Xi'an, where the Terracotta Warriors is located. The train I took was, yeah, exactly like this one. Later, I went to Beijing with my father. We took the high-speed train together, which took us 8 hours to travel from Guangzhou to Beijing. Wow, think about it. From Guangzhou to Beijing, same route and same distance. In 2000, it took 24 hours on the train, and the maximum speed of the train was 120 kilometers per hour. 20 years later, it takes 8 hours on the train, and the maximum speed of the train is 350 kilometers per hour. Moreover, high-speed train is becoming more and more common in China. In the past, high-speed train stations were only in the big city like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen. Nowadays, high-speed train can travel to more than 100 cities. By the end of 2022, the operating mileage of railways nationwide reached 155,000 kilometers, of which 42,000 kilometers were high-speed railways. From steam trains to high-speed train, what has changed is not only the speed of train, but also people's lives. People can choose to travel in different ways, including airplane, high-speed train, regular train, cars, trams, etc. It makes it easier for people who live in one city and work in another city, for a couple in long-distance relationships to see each other, for travelers to travel to as many places as possible in a limited time. Of course, there are still many slow trains. Slow trains are cheaper and more widely available. They are for people who live in the remote areas, for travelers who want to enjoy the scenery along the way. I love slow train just as much as high-speed train. I believe that no matter a slow train or a high-speed train, all of them are very important to people's lives. If I have more time, I would love to spend a day on the slow train. I can sit by the window of the train and enjoy the natural scenery. Okay, that's all for today's video. Hope you enjoy it. I'm Mandy. I'll see you in the next video.